Republican Senator from Utah Mike Lee sits on the Judiciary Committee and has been very vocal on this issue with Syria. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so the Washington Post accusing the president of having mixed messages, saying on the one hand, he's saying we don't need Middle Eastern oil, that ISIS is largely defeated, and that there's nothing left for the U.S. to do in Syria. On the other hand, we now might keep troops to protect Syria's oil fields there and use others to conduct missions into Syria from Iraq. Do you think we have a clear policy there?
Well, I think the Washington Post might be confused here. I don't really understand the Washington Post as being an entity that wants to push us into more wars, wants us to remain in an area where we don't have an authorization for the use of military force or a declaration of war and say, let's just go there and do it. So they need to pick a horse and ride it here. Here, we don't have a declaration of war or an AUMF. We need to not be there, and I applaud President Trump's decision to take us out.
Okay, your friend and colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham, has been very critical of the president. He said today he's a little bit more optimistic about some of the things that are being put into place, but he also met today with the president of the Executive Council for the SDF, a Kurdish leader. Here's what he said about his conversation with her.
What did you learn from her, if anything?
That the longer this goes, the more compromised the ability to keep the ISIS fighters in jail. These prisons are kind of hanging by a thread, and we need to get this thing over with as soon as we can. And I blame Turkey for creating the chaos that may lead to the reemergence of ISIS.
What was her message for President Trump?
He says the message is help us.
Look, if Lindsey Graham or any other member of Congress disagrees with the president on this, and I don't. I agree with the president. The president did the right thing. But if Lindsey Graham or anybody else in Congress disagrees with the president, let them bring forward a declaration of war. Let them bring forward an authorization for the use of military force. Let's debate this. Instead of having the House of Representatives have this phony show vote saying, oh, we don't like it, let them actually belly up to the bar and let them come forward and say, we want to declare war in Syria and authorize the presence of U.S. troops. That's what they ought to do. That's what they would do if they really meant it.